and movement type. Then I have to consider 3-factor. Then I have to assign GL accounts, which I have done it in this configuration. Valuation modification, that is your grouping code, valuation class and account. Now, for example, let's say I have another plant, then I'll maintain Y, then your valuation class for G1, okay, valuation class, let's say VA1 takes only 4 alphanumeric characters, then again Y, valuation class for G2, and their respective GL account. When it will happen? When I have under one company code different plants and I want different postings, different GL accounts plant wise, then I require the valuation grouping code. Any question here?
Okay, clear.
Two scenarios clear, where one company code
And
one company plant, plant, one company code under her multiple plants.
Yeah.
Okay.
That will change my valuation modification. Yeah, please.
Correct. Valuation grouping code will only valuation grouping code will be the additional feature.
Yeah.
We will have and valuation grouping code will be determined based upon your plant.
Yeah.
Multiple plant valuation grouping code. Class. One more factor, one more thing, valuation modifier. Okay, valuation class, everything done. Then your valuation modifier. Now, let's say again, I want to specify transaction-wise the GL accounts. Now I have specified only in this example we are going to take only one plant. Okay, so under one plant I have selected the transaction. I have know from where a valuation class comes. Now again the general modifier under your GBB posting. Okay, especially only GBB posting, we have different general modifier. This general modifier again segregates your transaction, okay, segregates your process key, or you can say the process key to different levels. Okay, for example, when I am doing a transaction GBP, under GBP I have 5 different general modifiers which we use. For each general modifier, a specific responsibility or specific activity is attached. It is not just that we assign a general modifier. For each general modifier, there are specific activities. Okay, so based upon that, for example, let's say I want everything to be posted to one GL account. Okay, then in the rules, no need to select general modifier. So I have valuation modification, valuation class if you select, then your general modification option will not be triggered. Now we have triggered a general modifier, okay, especially for the transaction GBP. Okay, so what does this AUF, CUF, VAX does? It again segregates your transactions to different options, to your different categories. Okay, so those categories AUF, all these things are. Without order. It's 1 minute. 1 minute. Hello.
Yeah, Kashi.
So this first AUF is for goods received for a sales order. Then VAX for goods issue sales order without account assignment object. VAY for goods issue for sales order with account assignment. ZOF is for goods received without production order. Then VBR for your internal goods issue. So again, I'm segregating the transaction, that is my process key, into different general modifier, so that the general modifier have an additional GL account. For example, let's say when I'm doing AUF, VAX, VAY, ZOF, I want to give one GL account, VBR one GL account based upon this example. Okay. Now, for example, I do not give general modifier option in the rule. Okay. Whenever I do these 4 transactions, these 5 transactions, and I'm not giving general modifier. Everything go to one GL account. But I want to give additional features or additional GL accounts. In this case, under GBB, for AUF, that is for goods listed for order, I want to give a different GL account. VBR, that is for internal goods issue, I want to give a different GL account. Then I will be activate general modifier in the rules. If I do not activate here, I give valuation modification valuation class. Whenever I do these 4 transactions, every 5 time of transaction, every time it will go to a one GL account only. So importance of general modifier, it segregates your GL account again into different categories. Any questions here?
No, okay.
Okay. So what is the first thing? What is the first tool? Movement. What is the first tool you understand? Company code, where we have one company code and one
Plant. Yeah.
So what is the first tool? What you will be doing there?
There I'll see my movement type. That will tell me
Correct.
what is my transaction key. It will tell whether it's or process key. It will tell me it's a debit or a credit. Then I will see my valuation class. That will
valuation class from where it will
material master. So this combination will tell me what is the GL account I should use.
Where it is the combination with configuration?
OBYC. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
OBYC configuration.
And then
the second scenario, where I will be use valuation grouping code.
Yeah, the valuation area, that is at the plant, mostly at the plant level, or it can be the
Correct.
company code level. So depending on plants, I can group them. If there are multiple plants, then I can have a GL account. The plant valuation class and the moment type combination.
Valuation grouping code.
Valuation grouping code, correct. Yeah.
So for each plant, I will be having a individual valuation grouping code.
Yeah. This X and Y. X.
So in our example, we have taken X and Y. So based upon that, system will determine which grouping code to trigger.
Yeah. And the third is with this general modifier that tells what kind of, from where it has come, whether it's a sales order or internal goods movement. So this combination will tell me what is the GL account. Yeah.
Correct. So why we use valuation grouping code? To specify additional rules, we can say.
Yeah.
You want to specify additional rules, you want to have additional rules, then we require this particular additional part. Otherwise, it is not required. For example, actually I have not seen any scenario where they give all to one. Normally, this VBR always they will give it to different GL accounts. At that time, your general modifier is used to segregate again into different
GL accounts. Yeah. Clear?
Clear?
Yeah.
Completely. Because if you understand this, then that's it about all your FIMM integration.
Okay. I got saying that how they segregate it. So probably I have to go to my project and see what have they done.
Yes. So first when you look into your system, first find out how many valuation class they have.
Okay.
Then how many valuation grouping code. That is valuation modifier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
General modification only for GBB will be there. Others it will be only your these two things will be there.
Okay. Got that. Yeah.
Okay.
So these are the only GL accounts then that will be used for my GRIR posting.
For GRIR clearing account, we have WRX configuration. I will explain you. I have just given you an overview for each kind of transaction. So normally we use first is your BSX. That is inventory posting. Any inventory posting, it will be happen in your BSX. Okay.
Okay.
Now, any kind of your offset entry for inventory posting is in your GBP.
Okay.
Any kind of GRIR clearing,
Mm-hmm.
that is in your WRX.
Okay. So when I say GL account, so it is which GL account for which kind of posting?
So let's say in our example, you are going to show 101 movement time.
Yeah. Here also it will be okay.
So you are going to do the 101 movement time. For that, we will see the postage.
Yeah. Now what I was trying to understand is in my OBYC the GL account that I have put. So in this MIGO it will be used for inventory. Which account it is?
Yes.
Inventory account or GRIR clearing account?
See, when MIGO is done,
Mm-hmm.
your inventory GRIR. So your BSX and WRX both will be used.
Okay. Okay.
So in the case of vendor invoice verification, your again WRX vendor anyhow you are giving manually. So
Yes. Yeah.
vendor is not required, need not to pick from anyone.
Okay. Okay, got that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do the configuration quickly.
Yeah.
This configuration plans, all these things normally we do not do. This is done purely by your consultant. But to show you the cycle, and I will just do the configurations quickly,
Okay.
and I will post the entry, then show you the transactions.
Okay.
First is create plant. So it's 10. VS01 plant for VS01 only, right? Our company code. Okay. Taking the same example as my company identifications. Then define the storage location. Which is defined under your plant. Then your purchase organization. Then the division. Then I will assign the plant to company code. So it's 8. Go to new entries, type your company code, type your plant, and save. Then I will assign the purchase organization to company code. go to position, add the purchase organization, is the purchase organization. Assign purchase organization to plant. New entries, purchase organization, and your plant. Then assign the business area, okay, to your plant, valuation area and division. J7. Okay, plant valuation area and new entries, plant, division, exceptional. Done. Material group purchase standard one. No worries. Now this is another next configuration. This is something we always check. Okay, OMSY. Okay. Here normally the system's period, for which period it is allowed for posting, we need to update. So for example, if you want to see a period, we have MMRB, MMRP, but if you want to modify it, you want to open any previous period, then we do the configuration change here. Normally we never do, but while practicing, if you have any problem, then you do. So current period is your current fiscal period, which is your post 10. We have taken 7th period. We have taken V3, not the K4. So 7th period, and select allow backward posting. Okay. So this is something we check. Okay, allow backward posting. Now all this configuration is done by your technical, MM people.
Okay. Also, when we start with posting or everything, the period has to be open. So, is this the one that will be the
Another one is there. I'll show you. MMRB, MMRP.
Okay.
I'll show you.
Okay.
So at last again, I'll last before doing the posting, I'll show you where that configuration.
Okay.
Okay. Then attributes of material type. So I'll create. I'll not use the standard one. So I'll copy from the standard one and I'll define my own. So the finished code is ROH. Someone has. I'll try to copy. Someone has changed it, the standard one. I copied it and someone has changed. This material type will impact at the time of posting. Okay.
Okay.
Fine. I'll define one for raw material. So this is ROH for raw material. I'll copy it and I'll say VAS RW, or say VAS R1 for raw material. So all the components are copied. Save. Select it. Double click on quantity and value posting update. Go to position and select quantity update value. This is for your raw material. Similarly, FERT, normally used for your finished goods. Okay, so similarly select it, copy. Let's say I'm giving BESR2. So R1 raw material, R2 save. Again, double click on the material type, select the material type, double click on quantity value update, position 001, quantity update value. Then I'll maintain the plant parameters, which is not having it doesn't have any keyboard. Management. So again, I'll copy it. Every time I'll change it to standard one, they will. Because what happens if you do not have the standard configurations?
Yeah.
When you do the postings, you will get entry or error. Okay, so I'll copy it from the 1000. Then default entry for the tax code, I'll make it as a 0%, but before that, let me see. The sales tax, purchase tax. The tax procedure which we define, that is there or not in the country level configuration. Default value for the tax code new entries. So you need not to worry any of this configuration. Okay, remember these we don't do at all. This completely done by your P2P people.
Okay.
None of this configuration we do. Our responsibility is to create the GL account and in OBYC assign the GL account. And while assigning, we don't do alone. We completely sit with your MM people. So manual one by one we discuss, then we do it because they have to tell us the valuation class, valuation grouping code, everything in detail.
Okay. Yeah.
So next is for tolerance limit for purchase order for price variance. Okay. And then for purchasing, purchase order, set tolerance limit for price variance. Okay. So price variation purchasing match as this section. These two are required. One minute. So this is for tolerance limit for the purchase order variance. Similarly, tolerance limit for goods received. For B1, B2, and B3. This is a tolerance for invoice verification also. That is for one task. Yes. That is the process. Now, the valuation grouping code. In our scenario, we have only one plant, so I will be defining only one valuation grouping code. But if you have a multiple, then you have to assign a multiple valuation grouping code. You see, I have only one valuation area, that is your plant, against to my company code.
Yeah.
So I will have only. If I have multiple here, automatically multiple plants will appear. You have to define separate valuation group, because sometimes we use the same grouping code also. Okay. We have sometimes you have the same grouping code because they want the same GL account to be used. Even they have a separate plant, they want to use the same at that time, same valuation grouping code. So normally use X, Y, Z, but it take any identification. Okay, as per our requirement. 001, 002 also will take, so it depends upon. It takes 4 alphanumeric characters. Now I will define the valuation class. Define in the sense I will copy from the standard one. /NOMS. One for raw material, one for finished. Okay, for one is your 3000. That is for your raw material. I'll copy from the GSR1. Then another one, this is 7920. I'll copy from 7920. That is for your finished goods. Okay. Now I'll create GL accounts. First is one for raw material, one for finished goods. Those are my assets. Okay. Automatically. Similarly for your finished goods. Then your GRIR clearing account, which is your liabilities. And it will be always open item. If you do not do open item, this functionality will not work. Remember, here it has to be open, here it has to be clear. So to work this functionality, it has to be defined as a open item management. You have to select the open item management. Okay. In the tax category, give a star. That means all kind of tax it will. Otherwise, each, because we cannot assign all the tax category, we cannot give the all the tax code. So it should accept all the tax categories. So we give a star. Then your raw material consumption account. This is my expenses. Everything is fine. Only that is field status code. It will be G003. Material consumption. Draft your increase and decrease in stock. It should be always your, actually normally we have a separate group, okay, where we have all the raw material consumption, all these accounts are updated, but remember it has to be your P&L, it cannot be your balance sheet. G030. The now I will assign it for automatic. First, for your inventory posting. Chart of account. I'll select only valuation modifier, valuation class. Okay. Valuation modifier here also it's not required because we have only one plant. Okay, but I'll just give it. Raw material. Okay. The finished good is not required to maintain because you are going to deal with the raw material. Then WRX before that, okay, WRX will do, then GDP, GRI recurring account, valuation modifier, valuation class, X, and my GRI recurring account is 1007. Then at last your here I'll select. If I do not select general modification, then every time when I do the posting, it will go to the same account. So BBR valuation class for your BBR is for internal goods issue.
Kashi, here this offsetting entry for inventory posting. This is only like say when I'm doing when there is a difference in the material that I'm invoicing for. So that to offset that, say if there were 100 and I created invoice only for 50. Huh? Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
No, no. This is for offsetting entry. Whenever you do internal goods issue or goods receipt for an order, goods receipt without production order,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Apart from your this Migo Miro, there are other transactions also are there.
Okay.
For those, we require this. Because
Okay.
different movement types happen. So
Okay.
different movement types, it is required. So to offset that entry, we require this code.
Okay.
It's not for your difference. Offsetting entry is for offset entry for that particular post. So VBR, internal goods issue. So that is means I'm using for raw material for production purpose or something. So purpose X, then AUF, then your USR2. This is AUF for goods receipt for order. That is decreasing stock. X. ZOF, goods receipt without production order. VAY, that is for goods issue for sales order without account assignment. X, then this is for with account. So VAY is with account assignment, VAX is without. Now I'll maintain the document type. We require 49, 50, 51. That is for WEWARE.